After defeating the ancient figure and sealing the crack in the earth, Jake and Billy pressed onward, the artifacts still glowing faintly in Jake's hand. But something was different now. The air was heavier, the ground beneath them trembling with each step.
I can't shake the feeling that something's following us, Billy, like the world itself is watching.
It's not just a feeling, Jake. The artifacts are changing, and so is everything around us.
As they traveled deeper into the wilderness, the artifacts began to hum, their energy growing stronger. The landscape around them twisted and warped, as if the world was bending to the will of something far more powerful than they could understand.
The artifacts, they're reacting to something.
We're getting close, Jake. But close to what? I'm not sure we want to find out.
The ground beneath their feet cracked open, revealing an underground temple hidden deep within the earth. The entrance was dark and foreboding, the air thick with ancient energy.
Another temple, but this one feels different, darker.
It's older. We have to be careful. Whatever's in there is far worse than anything we've faced before.
Without another word, Jake and Billy descended into the darkness, their weapons ready. The temple walls were covered in strange symbols, pulsing with a faint glow. The deeper they went, the more the air felt alive, charged with an ancient force.
These symbols, they're the same as before, but stronger.
This temple is different, Jake. It's not just a tomb, it's a prison.
As they reached the central chamber, they were greeted by a massive altar, surrounded by towering stone statues. At the center of the altar sat another artifact, glowing brighter than the ones they had already collected.
There it is, the next artifact.
And it's guarded by something far worse than stone statues.
But as they approached, the ground trembled, and the statues began to move. Their stone bodies creaked as they came to life, eyes glowing with the same dark energy that radiated from the artifact.
Here we go again. These ones are different, Billy.
They're stronger. We need to be smart about this.
The statues attacked with brutal force, their stone weapons crashing down toward Jake and Billy. They dodged and countered, but these enemies were faster, stronger than the guardians they had fought before.
These things hit hard. Watch yourself, Billy.
We can't take them head on. We need to break their weak points.
Billy fired arrow after arrow, aiming for the cracks in the statues' stone bodies. His shots hit their mark, but the statues were relentless, their movements only slowing slightly.
It's working, but not fast enough. We need to hit them harder.
I'm trying. These things are tougher than they look.
Jake charged forward, his machete slicing through the air as he struck at the statues' joints. His attacks sent cracks spreading through their stone bodies, but the statues were still standing, their dark energy holding them together.
Come on, fall already.
The artifact is feeding them. We need to take it out.
With the statues still advancing, Billy turned his focus to the altar. He drew his bow, aiming for the artifact. If they couldn't defeat the statues, they could break the source of their power.
I've got the artifact in my sights. Cover me, Jake.
Go, I'll keep them busy.
Billy released the arrow, and it flew straight toward the artifact. The moment it struck, the artifact shattered, releasing a shockwave of energy that sent the statues crumbling to the ground.
It's working. The statues are falling apart.
One more artifact down, but I don't think we're done here.
The statues crumbled into dust, and the chamber fell silent. But the victory felt hollow. Something was still wrong. The artifacts were glowing brighter now, pulsing with an intensity that was almost painful.
The artifacts, they're reacting to something. Something's coming, Billy.
We've got to get out of here, Jake. Now.
As they turned to leave, the ground beneath them trembled violently. The walls of the temple began to crack, and a low, menacing voice echoed through the chamber.
You have disturbed the ancient jackals. Now will pay the price.
Who's there? Show yourself.
We don't have time for this, Jake. We need to move.
From the shadows emerged a figure, tall, cloaked in darkness, its eyes glowing with ancient power. This was no ordinary enemy. It was a being of pure shadow, summoned by the disturbance of the artifacts.
That thing. It's not human.
And it's here to kill us. Get ready, Jake.
The figure raised its hand, and dark energy crackled in the air. With a sudden burst of power, it unleashed a wave of shadow, engulfing the chamber in darkness.
Here it comes.
Stay sharp, Jake. This thing's not going to be easy.
Jake and Billy fought back, their weapons clashing with the figure's dark magic. But no matter how hard they struck, the figure seemed to absorb their attacks, growing stronger with each blow.
Nothing's working. It's like he's feeding off our attacks.
We need to find another way. The artifacts, they're the key.
As the figure loomed closer, The artifacts in Jake's hand began to glow brighter, their energy pulsing in rhythm with the dark magic around them. They were reacting, fighting back against the darkness.
The artifacts, they're doing something.
It's our only chance, Jake. Use them!
With no other option, Jake held the artifacts high, unleashing their full power. A wave of bright light exploded outward, cutting through the darkness and forcing the figure back.
Take this.
It's working, Jake! Keep going!
The figure let out a twisted scream, its body unraveling in the face of the artifact's power. The dark energy that had filled the chamber began to dissipate, leaving only silence behind.
It's falling apart. We did it.
Barely. We did. But did.
Exhausted but victorious, Jake and Billy stood in the now quiet chamber, the glowing artifact still pulsing faintly in Jake's hand. They had survived another battle, but the stakes were higher than ever.
This artifact, it's more powerful than we thought.
And more dangerous. We need to figure out what's really going on here.
With the artifact in hand, they turned to leave the chamber, knowing that their journey was far from over. The real danger was just beginning, and the world was waiting for them.
Let's go find the rest.